Oh look, it was very, very emotionally high. Some people were very elated, others were still pretty sad because during the apology it was so important because it had an impact on so many people.
It's just so great. It's one of those days, where we will all remember where we were. It's one of the most important events in Australia in my lifetime.
It was one of those enormous moments in Australian history, along with the 67 referendum, the 92 Mabo decision, and of course the 2000 reconciliation bridge walk when 300,000 people crossed the Sydney Harbour Bridge. These are the great milestones in the reconciliation story in this country.
As an Aboriginal person, as an Australian, you couldn't help but be moved and understand that this was an incredibly important moment in our nation's narrative.
Back in 2008, when the apology, I was in Adelaide at the time. Here I was in this little hotel room, just glued to the TV, couldn't even move.
I think for me it was more a time of reflection and a sense that the time had come and it was about time. It had been far too long and it was a very, very important moment for all of Australia.
It was a great moment in our history, simply because of the fact that those before didn't have the guts to do so. Simple word, 5 letters.
And it was surreal watching the apology, listening to all of the words that Kevin Rudd, as Prime Minister, had delivered in that speech.
It felt as if I was saying that I was sorry. I, Kevin Rudd, then Prime Minister of Australia, was sorry. And so that's why I found it exceptionally important to write it out by hand, myself, not using anyone else's draft.
It was a sombre, sober occasion, and there were tears. And there was, I can still remember, there was audible sobs, and then when we stood up and milled around at the end of it, there were people that had tears in their eyes.
It was a fault of government policy of the day, and that needs to be addressed, and we can only do that together, and to recognise our past and to be able to work together with all members of society to address our future. This is an ongoing story. It's not a point in time. Apology solves everything. Apology is the start of a new beginning, and that's where we need to be able to look forward to that.
It obviously happened 5 years ago, and just to know that things are moving forward, and the process of healing is still happening, and just being strong as a culture and getting stronger as a culture.
It was like someone taking a huge load off you. It was like, yes, finally we can be one people, Black people, white people, it was like that to me.
I hope in the future that, we can all be one and not forget our past, but definitely learn and recognise our future.